You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
This is a massive storm. We've not seen anything like it in the Panhandle.
Time is running out. Hurricane Michael getting bigger and stronger as it churns toward North Florida.
Bracing for flooding and storm surge on the Suncoast, where you can get sandbags for your home today.
And today is the first day on the job for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. We'll tell you why President Trump apologized to him last night. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, second hour now of Good Morning Suncoast. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jess Dowdrick at 6 o'clock on this beautiful Tuesday morning, but the weather might not last long. Let's head over to meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, we have the day, but yes, you're right. Things are going to change, and they'll change by late tonight into tomorrow, I think, as winds might start to pick up just a little bit. And we'll also see perhaps a little bit of a tidal surge across our area. Still kind of up in the air as to what we will see locally in terms of that surge, because a lot depends on the strengthening of this system. Now, it does appear that we have an explosion of thunderstorms on the western edge of the center of circulation, which tends to indicate a strengthening storm. Its forecast motion is still to the north or to the west of north, kind of paralleling our coastline, and still a good distance away from us, almost 300 miles. Its closest pass to us will be over 200 miles, probably 250 miles away. But nevertheless, with a storm this size and with a widening eye wall, we get some pretty good wave heights around the center of this storm. This explosion of thunderstorms that you see here, colorized by the deepest, darkest reds, are an indication of perhaps some strengthening that might take place, though the latest hurricane observations from aircraft show a little bit more ragged edges to the eye wall and no stronger wind speeds. But as I just showed you from satellite, it may be in the process of strengthening now, and other hurricane recon aircraft are in the process of going out there to examine it. These are wave height contours, and you can see some of the wave heights are pretty impressive. 30, 29, 27-foot waves around the center of circulation, and some of these are going to propagate outward toward our area as early as tonight, with wave heights increasing to perhaps 10 feet across our area. And so obviously terrible boating weather. Hurricane warnings have been issued for northern Florida now, and for our area, nothing much has changed here. We're still in a situation where we're looking at tropical storm watches for our area waters, small craft advisories, rip current advisories, and high surf advisories for our area beaches. And for parts of Bradenton from I-75 eastward, there's still a tropical storm watch there as well. Could see some winds that maybe approach tropical storm force, though it's looking less likely. And the mouth of Tampa Bay and some of the beaches from around Anna Maria Island down through Holmes Beach and Upper Longboat Key have the potential of seeing anywhere from 1 to 4 foot storm surge. It just depends on the strength of the storm and what progresses through the rest of today and into tomorrow. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. So in just a little over 24 hours, Hurricane Michael will slam North Florida.
Thousands of people across the state and here on the Suncoast are preparing for the storm. Landfall is expected sometime around midday tomorrow in the Panhandle or Big Bend area. Mandatory evacuations are already in effect for 3 counties, and voluntary evacuations are in place for 4 other counties in coastal areas. People are already stocking up on gas and supplies, frantically boarding up homes and filling sandbags and making sure they have plenty of food and water.
Just making sure I have food that I don't have to cook, and making sure there's plenty of water and ice and all that kind of stuff.
Governor Scott has requested that President Donald Trump declare a pre-landfall emergency for the state of Florida ahead of Michael's landfall. The Florida National Guard has thousands of soldiers and airmen on standby for activation. And to help all of those people who are trying to evacuate and get out of the hurricane's path, tolls are being suspended in parts of northwest Florida. According to Governor Scott's office, drivers will be able to drive for free on several Florida toll roads in the Panhandle area.
Even though the hurricane is heading toward North Florida, we should still see effects here on the Suncoast, as John just mentioned. In fact, a storm surge watch is currently in effect for Bradenton and Anna Maria Island. Our Marla Spence tells us now what's being done for residents as well as our beaches. Marla?
Well, Ray, just in 2 hours, Manatee County workers will be handing out sandbags to help with storm surge preparations. The Manatee County Emergency Management Chief says Hurricane Michael has the potential to produce up to 4 feet in storm surge. Now, before the rain starts to fall, workers will be setting up at several locations to help homeowners keep their houses safe. As of yesterday, a tropical storm and storm surge watch was put into effect for parts of Manatee County as Hurricane Michael makes its way up to the Gulf. This morning, Manatee County will be offering the sandbags to residents at 3 locations. Now, here's a breakdown where they'll be handed out. You'll be able to pick up sandbags at GT Bray Park on 33rd Avenue, Bennett Park on Cypress Creek Boulevard, and the Bradenton Area Convention Center on Haven Boulevard. Now, residents will be allowed to fill up to 10 bags for their household, and in order to pick up those sandbags, Manatee County residents are required to show their IDs. Now, homeowners can pick up sandbags starting at 8 this morning. The county will be working pretty much throughout the day to hand out those sandbags. They'll be at 3 locations until 7 tonight. Jess?
Thank you so much, Marla. Also today, state offices will be closed in 35 counties where Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency because of Hurricane Michael. The majority of those counties are in the Panhandle, but Pasco, Hernando, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Manatee are included. Also today, dozens of schools, colleges, and universities are closing, including Florida State and Florida A&M University. And even though we are not in the direct path of the hurricane, it is always a good idea to be prepared for the worst. If you need help preparing, just go to our website, mysuncoast.com, and look under the Weather and Hurricane Center tab, where you'll find a link to our 1-hour hurricane special and our printable hurricane guide.
All right, 6:06 right now. Time to talk about traffic. There's our roving live camera currently at University Parkway and 301, where it's relatively calm there right now. It'll be busy as time goes on this morning. This, of course, is the county border between Manatee and Sarasota County and University. A busy thoroughfare as a bicyclist crosses the street there at 6:06. Let's check the maps now. First off, we'll go to Manatee County and see how it's looking there. Still an ongoing delay there on the left side of your screen. Northbound Gulf Drive as you go through Holmes Beach until you get to around State Road 64. Otherwise, not much to speak of so far in Manatee County. Farther south, here's the scene in the northern half of Sarasota County, 301 southbound as you head from University toward the Newtown area, and also Clark Road westbound as you get off the interstate and head west toward Honore and the Palmer Ranch area. And then our final map to the south will indicate still an ongoing issue on I-75. There's some debris in the road northbound as you get around the Toledo Blade Boulevard area of Northport. Otherwise, pretty quiet South County as of 6:07 this morning. Later on this morning, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh will start his first day on the job. Less than a week ago, the FBI, of course, was busy investigating claims of sexual assault against him. But after the FBI probe, the Senate voted to narrowly confirm him over the weekend. President Trump spoke about the controversy during last night's ceremonial swearing-in ceremony and also apologized.
What happened to the Kavanaugh family violates every notion of fairness, decency, and due process.
The controversy surrounding Justice Kavanaugh hasn't gone away quite yet. A woman's march will end today at the Supreme Court as he takes the bench for the first time this morning in Washington.
The commission investigating the Parkland High School massacre is postponing this week's scheduled meeting because of Hurricane Michael. The Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Commission says the 3-day hearing will be rescheduled, but has not set the date yet. Some members are law enforcement, education, and state officials from the Panhandle, where the storm is forecast to make landfall. This week's meeting had been highly anticipated because it was to include testimony from Scott Peterson, the sheriff's deputy who didn't rush into the building as the gunman killed 17 people in February. Some construction workers in Dallas, Texas are sharing their stories of survival after a 3-story townhome collapsed. Between 20 and 30 workers were working in the area yesterday afternoon when the home came tumbling down. 6 of them got trapped. 5 people were rushed to the hospital and are expected to be okay, but 1 worker didn't make it out alive. The cause of the collapse is under investigation, but the weather and straight line winds could have played a factor.
And now a happy story. A Booker High School student turned to art when a rare stomach ailment kept her home from school for 2 years. Nicole Colton's mother challenged her to find something to do during her downtime. That's when Nicole began working on her art skills and how. In fact, last summer she took second place in an art show of the area's best adult artists. She's only 15 years old. That was the one that she came in second place for, a red apple right there with the bow on top. Now here's Nicole and then her proud mother, Michelle.
I was always kind of into art ever since I was little. And when I did have downtime, I used it to pursue the art.
Really just hoping after her surgery she would just be in the world again and amongst friends and school, and she's really excelled so much on all levels, and of course including her art.
She has done very well. Proud mom there. As for the future, Nicole says she'll always have art, but for now the Booker High School student is thinking about a future in, wait for it, medicine. She's a straight A student. Good for her. 6:10 right now, cameras on your phone, cameras on your tablet, and now Facebook wants to put a camera in your home.
How the latest smart speaker is different than the ones already out there when we come back. Right now we're taking a live look at the city of Sarasota, where things are beautiful. The sun's about to rise, but that could change soon. Heading over to meteorologist John Scalzi.
So pretty quiet for your morning commute. I think we're not going to see a lot of rain shower activity here, but over on the other coast, that strong east wind continuing to bring in a few showers. I think we have a better chance of seeing showers this afternoon as a few of those storms make it all the way across and into our area. Rain chance about 30% a little bit later on today, and we'll have a daytime high that tops out warm, coming in near 90. Things change tomorrow though. We'll talk about that in just a few.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY. Honda, I like it.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Find out first at 4 with ABC 7 News at 4. First alert weather, breaking news, live updates, traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC 7.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Air temperature kind of sticky with a dew point value of 74. We have an air temperature of 76 degrees, but the east wind blows briskly now at about 14 miles per hour. So it will be a day where we'll experience Some kind of breezy conditions. Tomorrow, though, might be absolutely windy, especially along the immediate coastline. We'll look for a chance of rainfall today coming in. Well, that should read, looks like I got two numbers of one over top of the other. Should be 30% chance of rainfall a little bit later on this afternoon. So we've got Michael that looks a little bit better organized today. All the computer models are, by the way, still in agreement that we're looking at a landfall in the northern part of the Florida Peninsula, probably up around Leon County, maybe Cape San Blas, back toward Destin or Panama City perhaps. In any event, it stays well offshore from us. This is not going to make a right-hand turn and head toward us. That's not going to happen. It's going to exit off the mid-Atlantic coastline and produce a pretty good rainstorm, I think, for parts of the Northeast, though it should be a fast-moving storm, so that's good news. Total accumulation is probably not that great. 90-mile-an-hour winds currently. The system has not strengthened during the overnight, but it has also not lost any intensity either, which is pretty unusual considering the upper level winds were relatively hostile for hurricanes. It's maintained. In fact, we've even had some explosions of thunderstorms, which might signify a strengthening of this system a little bit later on today. It's forecast to later on this afternoon become a Category 2 hurricane, and then eventually by tonight, early in the morning tomorrow, become a Category 3 as it lifts up toward the Panhandle, probably tomorrow afternoon or early evening. It stays a good distance away from us, over 200 miles, 150 miles, depending on the exact track of the storm. But the effect on us will be felt. We will feel an increase in our wind speeds tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a scattered shower or two, maybe a thunderstorm, some possibility of severe weather, as landfalling systems oftentimes will produce tornadic activity. Right now, all of the heavy shower activity associated with it is well out in the Gulf waters, but it will be lifting northward. And tonight through tomorrow, we have a much better chance of rainfall than we do today. Today's rains are generally going to come from these east coast winds bringing in showers from the Atlantic. Tomorrow, our showers will be slung up from this system as it lifts northward up toward the Panhandle. Now, we'll be on the outer edge of the system, so we aren't going to get inundating rains. Flooding is not an issue here, but we could get 1 to 3 inch rainfalls over a 24-hour period. Some of the storms that do move onshore, according to this computer model, will be fast movers because of the motion of the storm. So we could see the potential of some tornadic activity associated with the outer bands of Michael as it moves closer to the northern Gulf Coast. And for that reason, the Severe Storms Prediction Center has put us in a marginal risk zone of severe weather, mostly wind damage kind of storms. It's higher to the north of us, of course, where the feeder bands for the storm will be more intense. But still, it's something for us to watch from about Venice northward. We're in that zone, so we'll keep an eye on it tomorrow as those storms move onshore. As far as wind speeds go, well, our chance of tropical storm force winds has diminished as the models become in better agreement with the exact track of the storm. We're down to about a 20 to 30% chance of seeing some tropical storm force winds. And by that, we're talking about minimal tropical storm force winds. I think what we're likely to see are some sustained winds of 25 to 30 miles per hour right along the immediate coastline, and perhaps some gusts as high as 40, which shouldn't do structural damage, but can blow things around and maybe bring down a tree limb or two. So power outages are a possibility tomorrow afternoon. But aside from that, as you move further inland, the wind speeds will diminish pretty quickly. Southeast wind increases with gusts to 40 knots overnight. Clearly bad boating weather. And as we head into tomorrow, we'll watch very carefully for our tide gauges to give us a better handle on our storm surges. We have a storm surge watch up for Tampa Bay and from Upper Longboat Key through areas of Anna Maria, perhaps inundations of 1 to 3 to 4 feet, depending on the timing of the storm, the strength of the storm, and its location. And then as we head into Thursday, things start to improve, and over the weekend, we actually dry out a little bit. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Checking in now with your first alert traffic. We start in Manatee County, where we see a few minor issues, mostly on Holmes Beach as you head northbound. There's a little bit of a delay there. There was one on US 301 as you were heading to State Road 70. That appears to have cleaned up as we head south to Sarasota County. Taking a look at the maps there, things are running smoothly. I-75, US 41, US 301 all seem to be running smoothly. And we head down to South County. Again, things seem to be running pretty smoothly at 6:19 on your Tuesday morning. A scary situation in Junction, Texas, as some people living in RV parks are dealing with sudden flooding. The Llano River in the area crested yesterday, trapping dozens of people. The Texas game wardens and other state agencies were called to rescue 19 people. Crews had to use boats and a helicopter to help 45 other people with life jackets. 4 people are still missing. While we're dealing with temperatures in the 90s and a hurricane churning in the Gulf, in Dillon, Colorado, it's winter. In the slopes, there's a good 3 inches of snow already. At Loveland Ski Resort, the snow-making machines are already fired up and adding to the natural snow that's already coming down to build up the base. The resort plans to open in about 2 weeks.
Facebook is joining the smart speaker game, and the social media website wants to put a camera in your home that can watch your every move. Yeah, Facebook releasing its own smart speaker called the Portal. It lets you make video calls to other Facebook users. The new Facebook devices are similar to Amazon's Echo and the Alexa smart speaker that already has a camera and screen, but with one big difference.
Amazon's devices don't have, which these new Facebook devices do, is access to the Facebook Messenger network of 1.3 billion people. So Facebook has a huge leg up here in connecting you to way more people for video calls, even if they don't have this new Facebook device.
Well, this will be the first time Facebook would gain a physical foothold in people's homes. As one person said this morning, what could possibly go wrong? Cameras in your home, courtesy of Facebook.
I have no idea what could go wrong.
Well, stay tuned. That story's next. 6:21, still ahead. Good morning, Suncoast. A deadly start to this year's flu season.
How 2 people lost their lives to the virus and how you can protect yourself straight ahead.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Find out first at 4 with ABC 7 News at 4. Weekdays on ABC 7.
A new warning this morning from doctors after reports of several flu-related deaths already.
The story from ABC's Gio Benitez.
In this morning's GMA First Look, concerns over an early start to flu season after a 29-year-old lawyer in North Carolina, Scarlett Van Story Levinson, died from a heart attack following complications from the flu. Her friends are in shock.
You got to take a sickness like that seriously and not push yourself too hard.
An elderly person also dying in North Carolina because of the flu. Children and the elderly are most at risk, and doctors are already sounding the alarm.
As a physician, I'm already worried about it, so maybe the public should be a little bit more worried.
Last year showed us just how deadly the flu can be. The CDC releasing new numbers, now estimating that last season's flu killed 80,000 people in the U.S., including 180 children, the highest death toll in nearly 4 decades. And we'll tell you the best time to get your flu shot coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Nobody gets your carpet, tile, or hardwood as clean and healthy as Stanley Steamer.
Call or go online for our $99 special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Joining meeting.
Fight your cough and break up mucus with new Alka-Seltzer Plus Cough and Mucus. Just one pill works 12 hours, all day or all night. Max your cold relief with Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Overwhelming air fresheners can send you running. So try Febreze One with no aerosols and no heavy perfumes. So you can spray and stay. Febreze One.
Hey guys, where are the cookies for the bake sale?
Bake sale?
Need to bake in a hurry? Use Country Crock Buttery Sticks with sunflower oil. There's no softening required, so baking is delicious and easy.
Ooh, cookies.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore, but there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
If we say evacuate and you're in an evacuation zone, you need to evacuate.
A monster storm is gaining strength and headed straight for Florida. What the Suncoast can expect from Hurricane Michael.
Plus, the Category 3 storm's possible impact on our beaches. We'll tell you what the city of Sarasota is doing for already struggling Lido Key Beach.
Plus, Brett Kavanaugh gets ready for his first day on the job on the U.S. Supreme Court. Good Morning Suncoast starts now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Jess Dowdrick.
And I'm Ray Collins. All eyes on the Gulf right now. One question I've got for Professor Scalzi is this the storm that might turn red tide and help it dissipate?
That's $1 million question, Ray. There's actually been no verifiable documented case of a hurricane dispersing red tide. However, there are certainly anecdotal evidence of that. There's also evidence that a sustained easterly wind flow, as we'll be seeing today and tomorrow, can increase upwelling along the coast, bring up nutrients from below, and encourage red tide. Plus, as we develop this storm system and move it north, we'll have an onshore wind flow for a time that could push some of the red tide bloom closer to the coastline. So we just don't know. What we do know is agitation of the water is a good thing. We'd like to see some more of the water that is off the coast move inland so that we can dilute the red tide to a place where its growth rate is not faster than its dilution rate. In other words, we can kind of thin it out a little bit. We'll see what happens. We have still a very strong Hurricane Michael, which looks a lot better organized now by satellite presentation. And I think when the next Hurricane Hunter aircraft go out here to investigate it, they will find that it has strengthened. But the latest hurricane observation shows a 90-mile-an-hour wind with a direction of motion still parallel to our coast, keeping it a good distance offshore. Still, its effects will be felt by us, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a few. Back to you.
Thank you, John.
States of emergency have been declared in Florida and Alabama this morning as Hurricane Michael grows stronger. Governor Rick Scott is calling the storm monstrous, and it's expected to make landfall tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it could be the worst storm to hit the Panhandle in more than a dozen years. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest on evacuations and preparations that are already underway.
This morning, time is running out for millions of people bracing for Hurricane Michael as it barrels toward the Gulf Coast.
This is a massive storm. We've not seen anything like it in the Panhandle.
Michael could make landfall as a Category 3 storm Wednesday morning, packing a storm surge of 8 to 12 feet. The state declaring an emergency in 35 counties, activating hundreds of National Guard troops. Residents are filling sandbags, boarding up windows, and stocking up on supplies.
We weren't nervous last night when we went to bed, and then we woke up this morning and all of a sudden it was first a Category 2, and now it's looking like it's going to be worse than that, so we're a little nervous.
Mandatory evacuations are now being ordered for parts of the Panhandle, but there are concerns that some of the shelters in the area won't be able to withstand the heavy winds. In a Facebook post, the Wakulla County Sheriff's Office warning no shelters will be open because the county's shelters are safe only for a Category 2 storm.
Every family must be prepared. Every family. Remember, we can rebuild your house, but we cannot rebuild your life.
And right now in the Gulf, cruise ships are altering their routes. Some oil and natural gas platforms are shutting down. And back on land, the Air Force is relocating aircraft at its base near Panama City to Ohio, far away from the storm zone. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Now, here on the Suncoast, people are keeping a close eye, of course, on Hurricane Michael as it makes its way up the Gulf Coast. One of the biggest concerns is beach erosion. Marla Spence has details of that angle. Marla?
Well, Ray, these are the sandbags the city of Sarasota is using to protect Lido Beach from hurricanes and other storms. Now, those bags are known as trap bags. In August, 500 tons of sand was placed in 4-foot-high bags on the beach in front of the dunes, and another 500 tons were also placed in front of the Lido Pavilion and pool area. Now, placing bags at those locations were in hopes of preventing future erosion and protecting beach facilities. Right now on Longboat Key, free bags and sand are being offered at the Broadway Street entrance to the beach. Also, parts of the northern end of this town was just renourished last month with new sand.
Part of that was to help protect some of the private properties there in that location. We did it during storm season, knowing that if we had a storm, we wanted to make sure we had some additional sand in that area. So I think that positions us well for this event.
This is hopefully temporary until they get going with the replenishment of the sand.
And officials from the town of Longboat Key in the city of Sarasota and other communities here on the Suncoast say they will continue to monitor Hurricane Michael and decide if anything more will have to be done. Ray?
Okay, thank you, Marla Spence. Hurricane Michael expected to dump up to 4 inches of rain on the Suncoast as well as storm surge. So to make sure homeowners are prepared, Manatee County will hand out sandbags at 3 locations today. In fact, starting at 8 o'clock this morning, in about 90 minutes, you can pick up sandbags at GT Bray Park, Bennett Park, and the Bradenton Area Convention Center. You must have valid ID, and residents will get up to 10 bags per household.
Also today, state offices are closed in 35 counties where Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency because of Hurricane Michael. The majority of those counties are in the Panhandle, but Pasco, Hernando, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Manatee are included. Also today, dozens of schools, colleges, and universities are closed, including Florida State and Florida A&M University. With Hurricane Michael approaching, now is the time to be prepared. We have lots of information on our website, mysuncoast.com, just under the Weather and Hurricane Center tab. Look there and you'll find a link to our 1-hour hurricane special and our printable hurricane guide.
Okay, now it's time to talk about traffic. Weather aside for now, here is a live shot at University Parkway and 301. Traffic picking up there at that very busy intersection. University, of course, is the county border between Sarasota and Manatee, and there's the live look right now. As we wipe to our maps, here's the scene first off in Manatee County, an ongoing issue there on 301 northbound as you get past State Road 70. Also, east of the interstate on State Road 64, some issues out there where they are currently building a roundabout in that section near Pope Road. Farther south, here's the scene in the northern half of Sarasota County, some congestion on 41 southbound from Bee Ridge on and off all the way until you get to Stickney Point Road. And then our final map to the south, that will indicate nothing right now, all clear as of 6:37 on this Tuesday morning.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Over 1,000 people filled a park in Amsterdam, New York last night to honor the victims of that tragic limousine crash that killed 20 people last weekend. The group lifted candles above their heads to signal unity and perseverance. The 19-seat limo ran a stop sign and struck a parked SUV on Saturday. 2 pedestrians, all 18 on board the limo, all died. The passengers were headed to a 30th birthday party.
A rapper's appearance in Los Angeles last night ended in chaos. Rapper Fora promised to give away free shoes at a Hollywood shoe store to any fans that showed up. Now, several people were injured when a stampede formed in the gathering crowd. 10 people were hurt and 8 were taken to the hospital. None of the injuries are serious. The event had private security on hand, but the crowd overwhelmed the guards. In just a few hours, newly minted U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh will join the High Court for his first day on the job.
Reporter Reed Binion has our preview.
What happened to the Kavanaugh family violates every notion of fairness, decency, and due process.
President Trump speaking at Monday's ceremonial swearing-in for newly confirmed Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
On behalf of our nation, I want to apologize to Brett and the entire Kavanaugh family.
Trump falsely claiming that allegations of sexual misconduct against Kavanaugh, which Kavanaugh denies, were proven to be untrue.
You, sir, under historic scrutiny, were proven innocent.
Trump's Monday night comments reflected the combative stance he maintained on Kavanaugh's confirmation throughout the day.
A man that was caught up in a hoax that was set up by the Democrats. It was a disgraceful situation brought about by people that are evil.
For his part, Kavanaugh took a more conciliatory tone at Monday's ceremony.
The Senate confirmation process was contentious and emotional. That process is over. I take this office with gratitude and no bitterness.
Kavanaugh vowing to be objective and nonpartisan on the high court.
On the Supreme Court, I will seek to be a force for stability and unity.
Kavanaugh also talked about promoting female lawyers.
I'm proud that all 4 of my newly hired law clerks at the Supreme Court are women.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Now, this morning, a women's march protesting Kavanaugh will greet him at the Supreme Court as he takes his first time on the bench later on this morning. If you want to cast your ballot in the general election next month, which is 4 weeks from today, you must be registered by today. The ballot will include statewide races for the U.S. Senate, governor, and 3 state cabinet offices, along with 12 proposed constitutional amendments and congressional, legislative, and local contests. It's quite a ballot. As of the end of August, there were more than 13 million registered voters in the state of Florida.
Also happening today, improvements will get underway at a popular park in the city of Sarasota. Crews will be sprucing up Laurel Park by installing new play equipment, adding new landscaping, a new irrigation system, tree trimming, and painting the gazebo. There will be limited access for the next 2 to 3 weeks. We know statins are good for your heart, but can they be beneficial for other conditions?
What researchers are learning now about the cholesterol drug when we come back. It is 6:41 on your Tuesday morning. Nice shot outside there.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the city of Sarasota, the Ringling Bridge. It looks beautiful out there right now. We head over to meteorologist John Scalzi to see what's to come, John.
You notice that camera was kind of bobbing just a little bit. Yeah, we've got a wind speed out there of 10 to 15 miles per hour along our entire coastline. Look at some of the wave heights associated with Michael. I mean, they are impressive. Around the center of the storm, you've got 25, 30 foot waves, and some of that propagating outward will bring us some wave action tonight through tomorrow morning, perhaps some 7 to 10 foot offshore waves. So be very careful if you're boating. This morning would be the last time that I would suggest that, and even then it's not so good. We are watching across our region a rip current advisory, a high surf advisory, a coastal flood watch for areas south of Longboat Key, and to the north of that, a storm surge watch, 2 to 4 foot possible storm surge possible in sounds and bays and inlets around Anna Maria down to about upper Longboat Key, and to the south of that, 1 to 2 foot storm surge possible down to the mouth of Charlotte Harbor. Details on this storm in a minute.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Blue 32! Blue 32! Hot, hot! It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small, so Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
I'm Alan Cohn. Real estate scams, as if buying a home wasn't stressful enough, from fake settlements to false reports of qualifications. How can this be prevented?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 76-degree air temperature, a dew point value of 74, 94% relative humidity. Kind of a sticky start to the day. Looking for the rest of the day, we've got about a 30% chance of rain showers during the afternoon and evening, and that will continue on through the overnight as bands of rains move across the region. But tomorrow, our rain chance spikes up, starting with 60% during the morning hours and increasing thereafter to 90%. Category 1 storm, 90-mile-an-hour winds. Hurricane Hunter aircraft are en route to investigate this storm as we speak, and I suspect we'll probably see a strengthening storm when they report back. Forecast to become a Category 2, Category 3 before it makes landfall on its closest pass to us, probably late tonight into tomorrow morning as a Category 3 perhaps. If that were the case, we would see some wind speeds along our region, probably in the vicinity of about 15 to 25 miles per hour along the immediate coast, with some gusts to 35. So that's a significant wind. It doesn't necessarily do any structural damage, but it certainly could blow things around a little bit, bring down a tree limb or two and create some power outages. So we'll watch for that tomorrow afternoon. Also of interest will be the amount of tide surge that we get across our area waterways. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. A lot of rainfall out here in the Gulf waters. I think most of it stays out in the Gulf waters, but a few of these rain bands will be working their way closer to us by tomorrow morning, and I expect to see the potential of a few stronger storms move through here with some brief periods of heavy downpour. I think total rainfall accumulations, though, probably in the 1 to 3 inch range. So we're not looking at big flooding issues here with our rains, but the potential for isolated tornadoes does exist, and certainly some straight line wind damage with some of the storms does exist. As the center of the system lifts to the north, the strongest rains remain way out in Gulf waters, but a couple of the rain bands moving onshore could promise us the potential of severe weather, and that's why the Severe Storm Prediction Center has put us in a marginal category for the potential of some severe weather. The strongest storms remain to our north. That's what that yellow is. From about Dunedin north, that's where the biggest risk will be. But nevertheless, we'll keep an eye on it and let you know. Good time to download your First Alert Weather app, which will give you immediate notifications of any tornadic activity in our area. So if you don't have that on your phone, now's a great time to do that. As far as our forecast for wind speeds go, we're right now kind of in the 20 to 30% zone along Manatee, Anna Maria Island for potential of some tropical storm force winds, minimal tropical storm force winds. The current forecast, as I mentioned, was for like a 15 to 25 mile an hour sustained wind along the coast with perhaps gusts as high as 35 or so. But you should prepare with numbers like this, potentials for probabilities like this. You should prepare for anywhere from a 30 to 40 mile an hour wind all the way up to a 50 plus mile an hour wind, which right along the immediate coastline could cause problems. Of course, the other issue will be once these winds start turning a little bit more onshore, some of the wave action coming onshore could create an issue, and so we'll be monitoring tidal flooding for tomorrow. That's a possibility, certainly, especially along the bays, inlet sounds of Anna Maria down through Holmes Beach into Upper Longboat Key. And then to points south of that, we're looking at 1 to 2 feet, which could cause some beach erosion, certainly, as well as some slosh over on roadways. Winds will be gusty through tonight, about 40 knots or so, 6 feet building to 11-foot seas. So absolutely not a great day for boating, rough to very rough conditions. These are the high tides. that we expect. I'm only putting high tides on the boards right now. We have a 139 this afternoon high tide. Not so worried about that one. Tonight at 1:08 in the morning, that'll be one to watch, and particularly the high tide tomorrow afternoon at 2:28. We'll watch that one very carefully and see just how much tide we get. 30% chance of showers today, goes up to 90% tomorrow. Windy conditions at times tomorrow, and then breezy on Thursday. Over the weekend, things clear out pretty nicely, and we return to sunshine and probably some cooler temps. Back to you.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, John. Now we're taking a look at first alert traffic. We start in Manatee County this morning, where things for the most part seem to be running smoothly. A little bit of a backup on US 301 in both directions near State Road 70. We head down to Sarasota County. Things are running smoothly there on 75, 301, and US 41. Now we head to South County, where we take a look at those roadways. Again, things are running smoothly at 649 on your Tuesday morning.
On to Health Smart now. A polio-like condition has been diagnosed in about 6 kids in Minnesota. The disorder is called acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM. It attacks the central nervous system and can lead to arm or leg weakness and loss of muscle reflexes. Its origins are a mystery, but officials say a virus can cause this in some cases. Very mysterious. Still ahead, your top 7 headlines before 7 a.m.
And a look at your first alert weather and traffic as you get ready for your day.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me? Thank you.
What are you doing? You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Redefining beauty, brains, and what it really means to be queen. Now that's a job for a Girl Scout.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Here are the top 7 things you need to know before you head out the door at 7.
First off, John Scalzi's First Alert weather forecast.
I think it's reasonable to take a look at our storm risk right now from this system and what we can expect. I think we have various categories there. If we could lose that banner for just a second, we'll take a look at the risks. Tornado risk will be in the medium category, I think, tomorrow as some of these rain bands come through. Not a high risk, but still one to pay attention to. Damaging winds, I don't expect it. By that, I mean the kind of straight line tropical storm force winds that could do damage damage to structures. That's in a pretty low category. But also in a higher category, storm surge 2 to 4 foot possible, plus rip currents an issue, power outages, as well as beach erosion, also issues too that we'll be monitoring. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Checking traffic now, our number 2 element this morning. You'll see some usual delays on 301 and the bridges from Palmetto into downtown Bradenton. No major issues right now on Suncoast roads. We'll check that at 7:25 for our next update.
Number 3, Hurricane Michael is churning in the Gulf. It's expected to make landfall tomorrow afternoon near the Panhandle. Governor Rick Scott has now declared a state of emergency in 35 counties.
Our 4th top story: state offices are closed in 35 counties due to Michael. The majority of those counties are in the Panhandle. Dozens of schools and colleges are also closed, and tolls have been lifted on Florida roads to help with evacuations and congestion.
Our 5th top story: Manatee County is helping make sure people on the Suncoast are prepared for possible flooding and storm surge. Starting at 8 o'clock this morning, sandbags will be given out at GT Bray Park, Bennett Park, and the Bradenton Area Convention Center.
Number 6, brand new Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh will join the High Court later on this morning for his first day on the job. The Senate voted to confirm him over the weekend.
And what's trending this morning? The one and only Tom Cruise, 3 decades after hitting the danger zone. He's back in San Diego on the flight line for the sequel to 1986 Top Gun. The movie is scheduled to be released in July of next year.
It worked once, why not try it again?
Think they'll sell any tickets?
He is ageless, isn't he?
My gosh, he sure is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'd have to
And he
agree.
does his own stunts. I can't even imagine.
No, he's been injured doing
Oh
them.
my gosh, I'd be so sore.
Right.
So, of course, all eyes are on the tropics. We're watching Michael. We'll have another updated forecast track coming up at around 11 o'clock, which we'll be happy to share with you and let you know whether that impacts us at all. We'll be watching the winds picking up tonight through tomorrow morning, and we'll keep abreast of the rain showers as they move on shore, as well as tide gauges.
All right, thank you for watching Good Morning Suncoast. Up next, Good Morning America.